Hello guys, in this tutorial we're going to create a social card. So let's go on the top left and let's create an artboard. So this is gonna be our artboard for this card. And I'm also going back on the top left, and under shapes I'm going to select a rounded rectangle, and let's make it like this. As you can see, the rounded rectangle has a radius option, which you can tweak over here or directly on this bar. And I think I'm gonna go with 6 pixels of radius. I'm also going to select the smooth corners option. So after that, I'm going to remove the border and add a white fill. Now, as you can see or cannot see, the rectangle is not visible anymore, and that's why we're going to add a shadow to this. And after selecting the fill and adding the shadow, this is going to add a little bit of depth to it. So I'm gonna make the shadow also just a little bit less visible, so I'm gonna give it a 12 in the alpha as the value, and I think we're in pretty good shape for the base. So after that, I'm going to add a text, and let's just enter a random name, and this is going to be the main profile name. And after that, I'm going to duplicate that same layer, and beneath I'm going to add the title. So let's say CEO and co-founder. And I'm also going to make it just a little bit smaller, so that the main emphasis is on the name itself. And I'm gonna make it regular. So for this project I'm using Open Sans, which is quite a nice and free Google web font. And let's add the profile picture. So I'm gonna go into the fields and on the image, and I'm going to choose the image and go onto one of my royalty-free images which I previously downloaded. And here we go. So this is basically it for the main area. And I'm also going to create a call to action, which I will duplicate this layer, the rectangle, make it smaller, and I'm going to remove the shadow and use a different fill color for this specific call to action. Now we can also go here and duplicate the top layer, and I'm going to write contact Andrew as the call to action. So I'm gonna make it white so that there's just a little bit of contrast. And we can also create a second call to action over here, which is message now. This will be like a secondary call to action, and we're going to make it an outline button, so that you're going to see a difference compared to the one on the top. And I'm going to give the border a 2 pixel thickness. Now let's make the model just a little bit taller so that you can see it better. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this model. I think that I'm going to make the buttons just a little bit smaller, and I'm using this technique of grouping them both together and sizing them down just a little bit. And once you do this, you must double check that the font size is not going to be with weird sizes. So as you can see, the size now it's 15.2, and I don't really like when there is like extra points in the typography, so that's why I'm going to make it 15 pixels exactly, and the same for the secondary call to action. And yeah, I think I'll just tweak this a little bit just to make it more visually working well, and might do the profile just a little bit smaller. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this tutorial, and I'm going to create just 2 of them so you can see. One other thing we could do is to make the background just a little bit on, just to add a little bit of a different color, so that these models will pop out even more. So yeah, this is it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, just drop a comment below, and I will get back to you.